Just how good is Barbarian? Let's find out. So the short answer to the question I asked before my little title thing, the answer is it's very fucking good. Barbarian is a fucking great horror movie. It's nothing you expect it to be, and if you have not looked up or done much research on this film, don't do any more. If you know nothing about this film, fantastic, don't watch anything. Start this movie blind and let it take you on the ride. I'm not going to say much. This is going to be a pretty brief review. I need people to experience this for themselves. The best way to ingest this is as blind as possible. For starters, I did not know that Cregger directed this, and I also didn't know that he is the Zach from The Whitest Kids You Know. That's how I was introduced to him, and I only knew him to do comedy work, and the fact that he created this fucking movie is a miracle in and of itself. What's great about this movie and what it does well is that each character that's introduced to this story is given context, and it's given their, not necessarily an origin, but it's given their path into where we're at right now in the current story. Obviously you get it for Georgina Campbell, who plays Tess, the lead character, but you also get it for Justin Long, who is amazing in this movie, and then Richard Brake. Didn't know he was in this fucking thing either. But Richard Brake never plays a good guy, so it's pretty safe to assume that he would play a villainous part in this. Like I said, Georgina Campbell is the lead. This is my first time seeing her in something, and she does incredible. There's a scene where she's yelling someone's name down a hallway multiple times, but each time she yells it, there's more pain and panic and like inflection in her voice. It was so good. I'm gonna give a shout out to my friend Steve, who praised this movie to the high heavens, rightfully so. But he hit the nail on the head. Justin Long plays such a deplorable, wonderful piece of shit human being in this movie. And he's given chance and chance again to redeem himself, and he continues to fuck others over. He's just an awful person, and he plays it in the best way. This is also Justin Long's fourth horror credit, if I'm not mistaken. He did Jeepers Creepers, loved it. Tusk, not my cup of tea. And I think he was in Drag Me to Hell. So this is his fourth. Has there been a Scream King before? Can we crown Justin Long as the first Scream King? Fuck it, I'm crowning him as the Scream King. I don't care. And then, like I said, Richard Brake is always a delight to see, but he's never not doing anything evil, so just expect more of that. During these scenes of exposition and getting the characters to sort of relate to one another, it gets washed out of your mind that you're watching a horror film. There's a scene with Justin Long on the highway in his car. You forget it's a horror film. Or the first scene like this where Tess and Keith are sharing their love for music over conversation and wine. The chemistry is so good between them, and it feels so natural. Nothing feels forced. For a second, you think you're watching a rom-com. And for these scenes to be so effective, the chemistry, like I said, has to be there, but also the writing has to be on a 10. Otherwise, you're just like, what the fuck are you listening to? I'd say if you have watched the trailer, you kind of have a sense of how this movie's going to play out, but I promise you, after the first 15 minutes, good fucking luck predicting what happens. Cregger seems to almost purposely play with the audience, and in turn, subduing your expectations, which works because this film continues to evolve and reinvent itself more than once. And before the door is blown completely off its hinges for this movie, you're given a very realistic first act, and the emotions are real and expected. Pretty much what you would expect to see from two strangers interacting who have booked the same Airbnb. And this movie is filmed in Detroit, but especially during the first sequence where you see this little area of the town at night, it doesn't feel like Detroit. It feels like its own environment, fever dream, if you will. That's another point for Steve right there. But it doesn't feel like anywhere you've been before. It feels very new. It feels uneasy. It was done perfectly. And if you decide to check this movie out, I hope you have nearly as much fun as I did. It's streaming right now on HBO Max. Go check it out. and let me know if you decide to, because what a ride this movie is. Zach Cregger, if you want to continue directing original horror movies like this, please line them up and I will watch them one by one. I appreciate y'all checking in on my review, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace.